here I have a Valentine's Day layout. It happens to be Valentine's Day when I'm starting this. I'm not sure I'm going to finish it today, but I took the picture yesterday out in the snow. We had about 6 inches of snow here, which in our part of North Carolina, actually in any part of practically any part of North Carolina, it will shut you down with only 6 inches of snow. But that's our Valentine's photo, and I want to scrap it using some papers from Webster's Pages. These are Allison Craft papers, and I've had these for a few weeks, and I've been wanting to do a page with them because I think they're just so beautiful. I decided not to buy a lot of different papers here because I don't do a lot with Valentine's. I do pretty much one layout, and that's it. These have some beautiful prints, the very Valentine's oriented prints, and then they have some B-sides as well that I know I can work with a couple of these quite a bit. What my plans are for this layout is to put the photo in the middle. I have this heart here, and you'll see in a little while what I'm going to do to create that heart design over the photo. I'd like to use the love paper. For the longest time I thought I would do it in a column, but I think I'm going to do rows of this under the photo, a row of hearts, and I'm going to be doing some punching for that. So I have my medium heart punch from Stampin' Up. A friend of mine just ordered one of these. She told me that these are really hard to find in the craft stores. You can get them from Stampin' Up, and I think Paper Tray Ink carries the same size. And of course there are other, sizes of heart punches, but this one works really well. The papers, the way I'm planning to arrange them is I want to use this wood grain on the background because I really love that, and this little polka dot, or I don't know what it is, circle print. I think it's just so gorgeous. The back side of this one is not one. It's cute. It's not one that I would probably use anywhere, so I don't mind using a large amount of this paper. The wood grain, though, I'll probably cut the middle out because I can use wood grains. Just those I use all the time. So I want to cut a strip of this and have my photo up here, and then we're going to do some things with these little hearts. So I'll set that up for you, get some of these papers trimmed down and set that up for you. I also have for embellishment a lot of things that go with this that were not part of this collection, but I have some Allison Craft products from a collection last year, and it has some little heart paper clips and some arrows, and I will need some 6x6 prints. And fortunately, in using the same manufacturer, a lot of these colors coordinate. There's another wood grain, another fun little dot thing. This is a great match here. So I'm going to use some of these for the hearts on that border strip. And I'll need something for trim there. I've trimmed down that circle paper to 11 inches square, and I cut out the wood grain so I could have quite a bit of that to save. Cut a strip of the love paper, and I was thinking about doing that white paper, which is the back side of the love paper, for my hearts. I'm also considering the black and maybe using it for a border or something. So those are just some thoughts right now. The first thing I need to do, though, is get my hearts going because 2 of them are going to need to dry. I've got a piece of chipboard. I've punched out of some scrap cardstock a heart design for the heart punch. I'm going to mix up concoction here with some heavy gel medium, and I'm just using an Old Spice jar to put this in so that I can save some of it if I accidentally mix up too much extra. I'm using Perfect Pearls. This is Forever Red color. Mixing that with the gel. Now the gel medium, it's white now, but it's going to dry clear. So whenever you mix anything with it, you have to remember that it will dry clear, so all of that white color will go away, and whatever color you mix is what's left. So right now it looks kind of a mauve-y color. It'll be redder. You'll see that it'll get darker. If you're mixing with modeling paste, it's different. It stays white, so your color stays lighter. Now I'm putting this on not too heavy, but heavy enough, and adding a few little swirls to it, kind of like frosting a cake, so that it has some texture, because that's what I really want when I'm done with this. And then I'm just going to slip off the piece of cardstock, and that'll leave a heart design. I chose chipboard so that it wouldn't warp. It'd be something that would be really sturdy, and that'll get covered up later on. I also want to put a heart on the photo, and I'd really planned to do this right on the photograph until I remembered that I had these transparencies. I cut out a heart just from some scrap paper, just kind of free-handed, and trimmed it down a little bit till I got the size I wanted. And I'm laying that over my transparency, and I'm going to take some more of that gel stuff. I don't end up having really any leftovers when I get done with this. Using the palette knife to create a kind of roughed up looking heart. I don't want it to be too precise. I don't think I have to worry about that. But I did use the paper to guide myself and also to keep from having too much of a mess in the middle so that our faces won't get covered up with this. I just want a heart outline. I want it to look like I drew it on there with the palette knife. I'm just not good enough with the palette knife to draw anything. So I've got my mask here to kind of guide me. And when I'm done, I'll slip that mask off, and then I'll need to let this dry. Just, you know, doing a little bit of touch up there. I didn't have quite a good enough point at the bottom. And I think that's going to look good on the photo. So now you can see it's finished on the photo. It turns out a lot darker, and I took it probably about 3 hours to dry. I ended up leaving it overnight. And now I'm deciding what to put down at the bottom, whether I'm going to be punching out some more hearts and then filling in the spaces. And I couldn't decide whether I wanted black or white. And I've got different pieces of paper there. I could go either way. The love paper, the front side of that I'll probably not use again. That love design was great for one layout, but probably won't use it again. So I decided to use it and use the back side of it, the white. At this point, I'm deciding where I need to punch my hearts. This is probably the most tedious part of this, and it's not really that bad. I just put a heart in the very middle at the 6-inch point on the 12-inch ruler there, and then one over on the far left, and then I'm just marking where the center is of each of the hearts. So my measurements ended up being 1.5 inches, 3 3/4, 6, 8 1/4, and 10 1/2. So I did the middle one, the 2 outside ones, and then filled in the second and fifth ones, centered some in there. So I'm marking that 1.5, 3 3/4, and so forth down the page, and then taking the heart punch and lining up the very center mark and punching out each of my hearts. And you could do this with flowers or stars or whatever you wanted to do. And of course, it's good to do it with something like that white paper that I have more of in case I didn't quite get the look I wanted. I'm going to have that one mixed media heart, and then the rest of them will be paper. Just arranging the papers the way that I think they'll look the best. This is also my title. It will say, "You Are My Heart," and "You Are" I got from a Technique Tuesday stamp set. I'm just going to stamp that on the green. And it's not really dark enough since those are outline stamps, so I'm going to fill that in with a little bit of a gray marker. Stampin' Up! Has a great color now, something slate, smoky slate, yeah, smoky slate. And so I finally got the marker for that. All right, I'm gluing the paper onto that chipboard so that one heart pokes through the paper, and then the rest of them, those papers will get glued to the background, and I need something to create some spacing. I'm going to go ahead and glue these down first, but I need something to create some spacing between the paper and the background so that there's some dimension there. And I could use my dimensional adhesive, but I decided to use just some scrap pieces of chipboard, those little pieces that come out of the middle of letters. I just save those and throw them into a little drawer. And those make good spacers sometimes. And many of them are self-adhesive, so they didn't really take that long to apply. And that gives me exactly the same space as that little piece of chipboard. So there's some nice dimension. You'll see that more too at the end when we do some close-ups. Okay, I'm putting my on with some Doodlebug stickers. And then I'm going to add some kind of arrow. I don't know which style arrow yet at this point. I need to go ahead and glue on my transparency. I'm putting a little glue behind the red part, and I've got that done. And now it needs some softening. I think the layout has good bones, but it needs some details. I have this black and white rickrack ribbon I've had for a long time from Stampin' Up. It works out really well. I've used it for quite a few things, and I trimmed a little bit of the video out here because I ended up fiddling with the ribbon, as I usually, every time I try to tie a bow on camera, I spend forever doing it. So I got that on there, and I'm just adding in some paper clips and looking at some more wood veneer pieces. I had one that had the number 2 I considered, and then I decided no, I didn't want to use that. It has a 1 and a 3 as well, and I thought I'd rather use it when I could use all of them on a layout. There is journaling on the sketch, but I'm not going to do journaling on this layout. It's going to be probably more of a title page sort of layout. I've got a paper clip there that I may work in, another heart, as if I didn't have enough hearts. And I also had a little clothespin that I ended up putting in there. Now, to fill in the rest of it, it needed a little bit heavier stuff up there in the upper right corner and maybe below the photo. The 6x6 pad has the little journaling blocks, and those make great embellishments. So I trimmed a few of those down to use as embellishments. Okay, I've got our page finished up. I added a few of these cut pieces and just like 6 enamel dots total to kind of bring things together. So let's go back to our sketch. We have our heart border down here and some trim. I ended up putting it above rather than below because of my wording that I had here. I left the journaling off. I didn't really feel like from the very beginning I needed journaling, but I wanted to create that as part of the sketch in case somebody wanted journaling on there. I think my photo might be a tad higher in position. Got my heart on here and some arrows, and just added a little bit more to it than what the sketch showed. So here are some close-ups. I really like how the mixture of gel and perfect pearls came out, and the dimension down here I think is fun, adds a lot, kind of an interesting element to it. So that's my page for today. I hope everyone had a wonderful Valentine's Day, and if you're in a snowy area that you're melting out. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your comments and your thumbs up and all. I really, really love to read your comments, and I try to answer questions wherever I can. So thank you so much, and have a great day.